All right, so I'm gonna teach you the strumming tip you've probably never seen on YouTube before. You've never heard it, never been taught it. I looked around, I didn't see a whole lot of it on YouTube, and I've been doing it, giving this tip in my lessons with students, just my private lessons with students over the last year or so, and I'm seeing it more and more. So I wanted to make a video on this strumming tip. So before I get into the tip, obviously, we need to have our foundations and fundamentals of strumming down. So how you hold a pick, maybe using a thin pick, angling the pick when you go up and down. So I've got lessons on these strumming tips. Plenty of other people do too. So definitely have the fundamentals down too before you get into this tip. This tip specifically deals with the up strum. So any lessons that I do that other people, do, they're going to be doing like a strum pattern, right? So like down, down, up, up, down, down. That's a common one I use. So down, down, up, up, down, down. So the key is the up strum. The up strum, you're not literally strumming all the strings. It's just kind of this little flick of the wrist where you're catching the bottom few strings. So if we were just working on this G chord here, instead of going down, down, up, up, down, 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 up, up, down, down, instead of catching all those strings on the up strum, you just kind of catch those bottom few strings with a little, I'm calling it the flick of the wrist. You're really just getting the bottom three strings, maybe getting that D string in there too. So it's just that small, subtle flick of the wrist to give it a little bit of rhythm. A couple other reasons why this is super, super important. When you're playing like this D chord here, and I've got some other lessons on this, we need to be super aware of which strings we should be strumming for each chord. So like this D chord, or if you want to do that, D major, whatever one, we don't want to strum all the strings because we're adding in these chunky, loud bass notes up here that aren't part of the chord. We just want the bottom four strings for that D chord. So just like we want to make sure we're strumming the right strings on the way down, we want to make sure we're strumming the right strings on the way up too. Otherwise, you're going to have something like this. Where you just don't want that. So that when you do this little kind of flick of the wrist, you can do it for all of the chords, whether it's in the key of G, the key of C, the key of D. So that's the biggest tip. I see students just, it messes with their timing because they've got this big arm up strum, and yeah, the arm should move a little bit for sure, but it's more of just kind of like, the wrist and the arm are going at the same time. And there's not a huge like up strum motion. So let me just show you a couple of songs to give you an example. So we can do How Great Is Our God. You're the name above all names. You are worthy of our praise. And our hearts will sing how great our God. So that's just nice and easy. If you were going to do something like a full up strum, it would just totally sound, I don't want to say terrible, but you're the name above all names. You are worthy of all praise. And our hearts will sing how great is our God. So again, on that C and the D, we don't want to be strumming all those strings. So that's one example. You could do the song, you know, Waymaker, which I love to play. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, you're turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. So that sounds really good. It's just a little flick of that wrist. Again, we don't want to be doing this huge up strum, especially on this C. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. It's gonna throw off your timing and everything. So yeah, it's just that little flick of the wrist. And maybe one more example. We do the song "Glorious Day" in our church a lot, and it's just that really fast kind of rhythmic song. There's no way you could play that song on acoustic or even electric if you're strumming all of the strings on the up strum. So we would do it in the key of D like this. And I was buried beneath my shame. Who could carry that kind of weight? It was my truth till I met you. So there's just no way I could be doing these up strums with the song with that fast of rhythm and tempo. I was buried. I mean, I just can't even, I don't even know where to start. It's just, there's no way it's gonna happen. So it's just that little flick of the wrist for fast songs, for rhythmic songs, for slower songs. So just anytime you're watching a worship video or an acoustic video by a worship leader or whatever, just watch their hands. The up strum, I'm telling you, it's not going to be some violent, big motion going all the way up the strings. It's going to be very subtle and just a little flick. So I think this is going to help you guys out. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you soon.